of that word, creation means something totally new being born. I mean, it's not creative, it's merely repetitive, modified, changed, what the past. So, unless there is a freedom from the known, there is no creative action at all. Which is, freedom implies not the negation of the known, but the understanding of the known, and that understanding brings about an intelligence which is the very essence of freedom.
Right. I'd like to make sure that I've understood your use of this word creative.
Yes, that's why
seems to me very, very important.
Yes.
People who use the word creative in the sense that you described, creative this, that, and the other.
That's a horror. That is a dreadful way of using that word.
Because what the issue is of their activity is something merely novel.
Novel. That's right.
Not radically new,
no.
but novel.
It's like creative writing, teaching creative writing. It's so absurd.
Exactly. Yes. Now I do, I think, grasp precisely the distinction that you've made. And I must say I fully agree with that.
Unless you feel new, you can't create anything new.
That's right. And the person who imagines that he is creative in this other sense that we pointed to is a person whose reference for his activity is this observer that we mentioned, that is tied to the past.
Yes, that's right.
So even if something does appear that is really extraordinarily novel, merely novel, but still extraordinarily novel, they're kidding themselves.
The novel is not the creative.
Exactly.
The novel is just the novel.
Right. And today, especially, it seems to me in our culture, we've become hysterical about this, because in order to be creative, one simply must rack his brains in order to produce something which in itself is bizarre enough to get attention.
That's all. Attention, success.
Yes. It has to be novel to the degree that I feel knocked on the head by it.
Yeah, eccentric and all the rest.
Exactly. But if that tension is increased, then with each succeeding generation, the person is put to tremendous stress, not to repeat the past, which he can't help repeating.
Repeating quite. That's why I say freedom is one thing and knowledge is another. We must relate the two and see whether the mind can be free from knowledge. We won't go into it now. This is real meditation for me. You follow, sir?
Yes, I do.
Because when we talk about meditation, we'll go into it. But see whether the brain can record and be free not to record. Brain to record and operate when necessary, in the recording, in memory, in knowledge, and be free to observe without the observer.
Oh yes, I see. That distinction seems to me absolutely necessary. Otherwise, it wouldn't be intelligible. No, yes.
So, knowledge is necessary to act, in the sense, my going home from here to the place I live, I must have knowledge. I must have knowledge to speak English. I must have knowledge to write a letter and so on. Everything. The knowledge as function is mechanical function is necessary. Now if I use that knowledge in my relationship with you, another human being, I am bringing about a barrier, a division between you and me, who is the observer. I'm making
Right.
myself clear.
And
That
I'm
is-
the observed in that
Yeah,
case.
yeah.
Right, in that context.
That is, knowledge in relationship, in human relations, is destructive. That is, knowledge which is the tradition, the memory, the image which the mind has built about you when we are related together. That knowledge is separated and therefore creates conflict in that relationship. As we said earlier, where there is division, there must be conflict. Division between India and Pakistan, India and America, Russia and all that, this divisive activity, politically, religiously, economically, socially, in every way, must inevitably bring conflict and therefore violence. That's obvious.
Exactly.
Now, when in relationship, in human relationship, knowledge comes between, then in that relationship there must be conflict. Between a wife, husband and wife, boy and girl, wherever there is the operation of as the observer who is the past, who is knowledge, in that activity there is division and therefore conflict in relationship.
So now the question that comes up next is the one of freedom from being subject
Yeah,
to this repetitive round.
that's right.
Good, good.
Now, is that possible? You follow, sir? It's an immense question because human beings live in relationship.
Yes.
There is no life without relationship. Life means to be related.
Exactly.
People who retire into a monastery and all that, they are still related. However much they might like to think they are alone, they are actually related.
Yes.
Related to the past,
Oh yes, very much so.
to their Savior, to their Christ, to their Buddha, to their... You follow all that, they are related to the past.
And their rule.
And the rules, everything.
Yes.
They live in the past. And therefore, they are the most destructive people. Because they're not creative in the deeper sense of that word.
No, and they also, insofar as they are involved in this confusion that you've been talking about,
Yes.
are not even producing anything novel.
No,
Not that that means anything, but,
no.
perhaps that would rather radically...
But the novel would be for a man who is talkative to enter a monastery where they don't talk.
Yes.
That's a novel to him, and he said that's a miracle.
Right.
So, our problem then is, what place has knowledge in human relationship?
Yes.
That's
That's the problem.
That's
now.
one problem.
Yes.
Because